Oh, hey, hey. All right. I lowered the volume. How does it sound? Am I blaring? Is it not too loud? Is it perfect? Just right? I did some testing on it to see how I sounded, and hopefully I sound better. Because I'm telling you guys, I gave myself a fucking headache. But I'm like half deaf, so I naturally talk louder. So I realized I have to lower my microphone. Otherwise, I'm just blasting. So I did that. I did some tests. It sounded okay. But how do you guys think I sound? Do I like you being all out? No, I'm telling you, sarcastic. I gave my own self a headache listening to my own live. I was like, oh my God, why does anyone listen to me? I am so fucking loud. So yeah, it's a good thing. So let me say hi to everyone. What's up? Rock Jam, Sarcastic One, Rosemary, Grandma Rose, Annie, my other friend Annie, Sly Angel, uh, Rock Jam. Who else? Who knows? I knew I saw someone else. Blissful Elixir. What's up, everyone? All right, I sound good? All right, good. So many things I want to talk about tonight. I know I haven't been live in a couple of days. Bad Wolf, you better get your fucking ass in here. Since you always bitch, you need a live. But a couple things I want to talk about. Eh. First, did you guys see the website is done? And it's done. Thank God. Hey, True Texan. I thought it was never going to finish. My ass hurts so much from sitting in front of the fucking computer. Because when I tell you, I literally sat here for hours a day. Like, I am not exaggerating. Woke up at like 7:30, 8 in the morning, sat in front of my computer until like 3 o'clock in the morning. I shit you not. I did this for 2 weeks. Then I changed things and then I did some research. And so, yeah, hey, there's Bad Wolf. And it was just endless, endless. But I finally got it done, and I'm super fucking proud of it. And make sure you order your candles. But I am gonna be doing a discount tomorrow, starting tomorrow, because I have some orders that I have to get out. And if you haven't looked at it, definitely go look at it. If you only saw it on a cell phone, let me know because it's so much prettier on a desktop. Even though I did the whatchamacallit, I did the cell version because it wasn't automatic. Like I actually had to reprogram it. So the cell version is not as pretty because by the time I was done, I'm just like, I'm so fucking done with this. And then you have to go back and you have to do all these stupid fucking little things. And I had to recode the thing, and it's just a fucking nightmare. but it's done. Woohoo! And then in 3 months, I could change it again. Hey, Debbie. Now, I'm not really changing it, but, someone I don't know if it was a troll or not, but someone left a comment on my page, on my post is like, "Again?" I don't know if they've ever noticed, but companies candle companies change their website, like, some of them do it every other day. I don't have that capability or a web designer to tell them to change it every day. But yeah, some of these big companies literally change their website like once a week. So I'm not going to go that far. But you do have to change out candles every 2 3 months, and yeah, you always want to update it with new things and new stuff. So yeah, I do change it. But I had to get a baseline that I was really super fucking happy with, and I think I have that now. So, yeah, I am super fucking happy with it. So, if you don't like it, oh well. Someone pointed out a spelling error I did. I don't give a fuck at the moment. Like, it was on a label, and you don't understand. I had to write everything. And there were times that I may have missed something or I may have, a typo. Right? It happens. So to the pill popping troll that it just, I guess pills didn't, mean anything because it didn't change them. But yeah. So you can keep your fucking negativity away from me. I don't need anybody's fucking negativity. I'm done with negativity. I like positive. So that's one thing. Second thing I want to say, Bad Wolf, as I posted on my community page, no, it wasn't Emma. I don't think it's Emma at all. Hey, Angela. Um, MM's not a pill popper, but no, it has nothing to do with her. The person that I believe it was, I mean, I could be wrong, but the person I believe it was isn't MM or connected to MM at all. It's somebody totally different. Someone from the old drama. Uh, but as I posted on my wall yesterday, G Mangoes, if you are from OGDC, you know who G Mangoes is. He was really one of the good guys. To anyone who was close with him, like I haven't spoken to him in years, but for anyone that was close with him, my deepest sympathy for you guys, but he really was one of the good guys. I knew him from Bad Wolf and WOG, Whiskey OG. That's how I met Mangoes, and he really was just a good guy. So sad, he's younger than I am and he's gone. Good news, he did pass away with his kids there, and it seems that he was gone for like 40 minutes, and then they brought him back, but they couldn't save him. So he's been really sick for a while. So sad. But my condolences to anybody that was still close with him. I know a lot of people were. So I just want to give a shout out for that. And Bad Wolf, I know you were close with him at one point because I met him through you guys. So my condolences. Trying to think if there's anything else before we get started. Yeah, there is. All right. I want to know now. This is a little deep thought. G Mangoes. He was from Boyd. He was like one of the first people to do panels, and he would use Zoom, and he had like 20 people on a panel at once. But he was always trying to, like, when I hung out with him, like when I was over at his channel, he was always trying to be the reasonable one, the one that, the mediator for people. He was a good guy, a good looking guy too. And then I heard he got really sick, and he was in some kind of rehab. I don't think it was a drug or alcohol rehab. I think it was a rehab for like his kidneys. He was in kidney failure or something, and he was in some sort of rehab, and he ended up just passing on the floor. So really sad. Yeah, like I said, he was a good guy. So, okay. Everybody followed the Casey Anthony case, and everybody knows she should have been put in jail for the rest of her life because she killed. But the jury in Florida decided that no, she was innocent. Okay. So, a lot of you guys have teenagers, and a lot of you guys have done stupid shit. So, here's my question. If you were a juror, and there's really not a lot of information that was given to the public at this point. So I just want to know your opinion on this, and then we're going to get into the Gabby Petito stuff. A kid is driving almost 100 miles an hour on a what we believe is a highway. When I say a kid, I'm talking 20 years old. He's got his girlfriend influencer next to him who's got over 1 million subs on TikTok or something, 1 million followers on TikTok, and her friend. Drives 100 miles an hour. A car coming the other way that was going the wrong way and also driving at a completely high rate of speed. But he was going like north on a south highway, completely at fault. Well, I can tell you what happens. The two cars crash and 2 people lose their life, 2 people survive. The 2 survivors are the 2 drivers. The 2 that died were the influencers. The one person left the scene. The guy driving the wrong way left the scene. Cops caught up with him. A couple of days later, he was arrested. He committed a plea, and he was sentenced to like 37 years in prison. Okay. Now, the other driver, was also brought on charges. They did a toxicology report. And this is in Florida. His blood alcohol content was like 0.02. Hey, Aussie, his blood BAC was like 0.02. Legal limit is 0.08. So he wasn't drunk. He did have trace amounts of pot in his system. Again, pot stays in your system. So if you only had small amounts, then to me, it could have been there for a long time. Now, the wrong way driver is already in jail. He got sentenced to 37 years. So take him out of the equation. He's doing his time. So a couple of days after the driver gets better, they arrest him. This is a kid from a good home. He was going to college to be a success. Like, he had a good career. He had a good future. He was 20 years old. They arrest him. They offer him a plea deal of 10 to 20. Oh, hell no, he's not taking 10 to 20. He didn't do anything. This other driver was driving down the road at a high rate of speed going the wrong way. It was his fault. Jury hears his case. He takes it to trial. The jury hears it, and within 30 minutes, they come back and they charge him with some kind of manslaughter charge. I don't think it was vehicle manslaughter. It was something else. And now he's facing 30 years plus. It seems that in Florida, the minimum he can get is 30 years. Now, one of the arguments is that if he wasn't going at a high rate of speed, he wouldn't have been in the accident. Okay, that I don't buy, because Florida speed limits are in 75. If a driver is going at a high rate of speed, going the wrong way, it really doesn't matter if you're going 75 or you're going 100. You're going to get hurt. And at 75 or 100, you still don't have total control of the car. Now, could it be that even if he was going 40 miles an hour, he may have been in the same accident? Yeah. But he wasn't intoxicated. That's what I'm telling you. He was not intoxicated. He was doing a dumb move. Now, one of the things that the cop said is there were no brake signals or anything like until the very end. Well, that's the thing. I don't know how he didn't see the other car unless it all happened so fast. If both cars are going 100 miles an hour, he could have looked away for a second. I mean, there's many things that could have happened. But I don't think this kid should get 30 years in prison. Yes, he was going a high rate of speed, but he didn't cause the accident. For him to get the same amount of time as the guy that actually caused the accident, I don't think that's right. And I've been meaning to talk to you guys about this like all weekend, but I just didn't go live. I just don't think that he should be getting 30 years in jail and that his whole life is being pissed away for doing a stupid kid move. I drove 100 once. Thank God nothing happened, but I think most people have in their early 20s, late teens, whatever. We've all done stupid shit. Some of us get caught, some of us don't. So, sometimes there's fatal consequences, sometimes there's not. So I don't know. I just think it's really unfair that this kid who killed his girlfriend and his best friend is getting the same amount of time as the guy that actually caused the accident who was driving the wrong way and doing a high rate of speed. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on it. Should he get some time? Yes. 5 years, 15, not even 15. I'd say 5 years. 5 years to me is enough because he's got to live with the fact that he killed 2 people, but he didn't do it. So I just think 30 years is astronomical, and for a jury to convict him in like 30 minutes, knowing that his minimum is 30 years, I really hope this kid wins on appeal. And one of the things I left a comment for it's on Law and Crime, by the way. But one of the comments that I left was, you look at Florida jurors, these motherfuckers let Casey Anthony out. They let Casey Anthony walk free, and they're going to send this kid to jail for 30 fucking years. Make it make sense. 5 to 10 exactly. He didn't cause the accident. Yes, he was speeding. But to justify him going for 30-year minimum, that's insane to me. I don't think he deserves it. I just don't. And it's been eating at me like all weekend. I drove 96 the other morning. See? That's what I'm saying. Some people have consequence, some people don't. State of Florida. Like I said, it's on Law and Crime. They covered it a few days ago. I think Friday, maybe. But yeah, they covered it. And yeah, 30 is the minimum. And, if he would have taken a plea deal, it would have been 10. But he didn't. And I don't blame him. I don't think I would have taken a plea deal either for 10 years. That's a long fucking time. 10 years. Think about the last 10 years. My kids went from 10 to 20 That's a long time, any way you look at it. So to ruin this kid's entire life when he didn't cause the accident, I think it's fucked up. So, like I said, if anybody wants to go check it out, it's on Law and Crime. I know they post a lot of stuff. It was a female host, not Jesse Weber. It was one of the females, but I just thought it was really interesting, and it's really stuck with me. So definitely check it out. Let me know what you guys think. But I mean, I've just given you all the details. They don't really mention more than what I just said. But it's one of those things that just literally been sticking with me all weekend, and I keep thinking about it. Like, this poor kid, he should not be getting 30 years. I mean, it's horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's horrible that he killed his friends, but he wasn't intoxicated. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't high. So I'm sorry. He should, if he was drunk, I get it. If he was high, I get it. If you told me that he had cocaine in his system, he was above the blood alcohol content, I'm totally with you. But none of that is true. He wasn't intoxicated. Pot stays in your system for 30 days. So I'm sorry, but I just don't think this kid should be convicted for 30 years. I mean, he was convicted. Where it goes from here, I don't know. I think his sentencing, I remember hearing, is like the beginning of March. So I'm definitely going to continue to follow up with it. I'm just blown away that I think it's so fucking sad. So, all right, let's get into Gabby Petito. Let me start by saying I have said what I'm going to say tonight. I've said it before. And many people disagreed with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't hate me. Don't be like, you're an asshole. I would protect my kids at any cost. I would lay down on a track to protect my kids. I would die if it meant protecting my children. And I have no qualms saying that. I have no qualms. Me and Marissa used to fight about this. If my son committed murder, I would protect him. I am one of the few that never blamed the Laundries for protecting their son. Would I have gone about it the way they did? Absolutely not. Would I have done things way differently? 100%. I wouldn't have ignored I wouldn't have ignored Gabby's family. But would I talk to the police? Oh, hell no. Would I do the exact same thing the Laundries did when they said, go speak to the lawyer? Absolutely, I would. I will die for my children, 100%. Exactly. I'd get them a good lawyer. Hey, Criminal Mad. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Jewel. Get them a good lawyer. But I would absolutely go to the ends of the earth to protect my kid. And if I had to go to jail for protecting my kid, so be it. I've been in jail before for protecting my kid. I'll do it again. It's not that big of a deal. So you have to understand, when I talk about this tonight, that's my stance on it. Hey, Adacora, that is my stance on it. I was listening to Christine Randall yesterday. I agree. R.I.P. Mangoes. I said that earlier. I was listening to Christine Randall, and she was like, oh my God, there's so much new information. No, there's not. So I was watching, when it first came out, the first day it came out, I watched most of the first episode. I was bored to death. I can't watch this Moavi, whatever the place called, pull over anymore. I've seen it so many times. But then I was listening to all these other people that were saying, oh, there's so much more info and I cried and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Maybe I'm a cold hearted bitch. I didn't feel that, but I did pick up on a couple of things that we did not know before. But it had nothing to do with Gabby herself. Oh, I would absolutely hide my child from authorities, 100%. I would ship him to my brother, who was an ex-cop. I'd be like, hide your nephew. But yes, what I would have done differently, Nan, I would have spoke to the parents. I would have said, look, I don't know what's going on. I will let you know as soon as I would at least speak to them. So why they didn't even speak to her, I mean, obviously they didn't want to lie to the Petitos, but you owed them to speak to them. Whether you told them a truth or not is neither here nor there, but you owed it to them to speak to them. Because, one thing I said then, and I'll say it now, we don't know what Brian told them. Brian could have told them the biggest lie ever, and they thought that they were just protecting their son. We don't know. They talked about the letter that the mom had written, which we all knew about already. And we just don't know what Brian told. All right, I'm sorry I said hi to you. Have a good day. We just don't know what Brian told his parents. Brian should have spoken to the Petitos, especially if he knew he was going to go off himself. Like, there's no reason why he couldn't speak to them if he was going to end up putting a bullet in his head. There's just no reason for it. I mean, it also gave me the feeling, and as crazy as this is going to sound, did his parents off him? Because, we were reminded again in the episode that Brian's parents are the one that found him. Well, how is that possible when they had millions of people looking? They had search crews, they had four-wheelers, they had tons of stuff to search, but his parents found him? I don't know. It makes me think maybe his dad offed him. I don't know. Or his mom. And that's why they weren't talking to anyone. But regardless, he's not alive, Whistledown. Please don't even go there. The fact that one of the new pieces of information that came out in this docuseries completely put everything together for me. Completely. Gabby called her ex-boyfriend on, I think it was the night of the Moab incident. Called her ex-boyfriend and said that she was leaving. That she was leaving Brian. She wasn't happy. This is what's going on. Hold on. You want to get down? This is what's going on. And the ex-boyfriend spoke to her, was a little jealous that she went on this cross-country trip and she went on this, trip. She was jealous that she did this with someone else and not him. I guess it was her high school sweetheart. Like, they went to the prom together or some shit. I don't remember him originally. And I mean, I covered this case from jump, but I don't remember this ex-boyfriend originally. But yeah, he was in this show. So then he said that he spoke to her again and they were texting and they were she had put a plan that she was going to leave him. Okay, Brian was a jealous boyfriend. What do you think happened the next day when they got back together and Brian found out that she was texting her ex-boyfriend about leaving? Duh. Right there. Brian got mad and killed her for it. There's no other explanation. It's one of the things that we always wanted to know was why he did it. What put him over the edge? What made him do this? Was a really simple answer. The same thing that got him irate many other times: jealousy. He read the text that she was going to leave him. He read the text that she was talking to her ex-boyfriend. He read the text that this is this is my plan. And then it just escalated. So to me, it's pretty clear cut why Brian killed her. It was in my opinion, and now granted, they're both gone, so I can't back it up. But that was the one piece of this that totally stuck out to me. And it literally made me stop in my tracks. And I said, that's it. That's the reason he did it. It was, for lack of a better way to say this happens every day. This is a dime a dozen case. Abuser gets jealous and kills the girlfriend. You literally read about this every day. Hey, Chrissy, what do you think of the website? You hear about this every day. So I kind of felt like all of the questions are now answered. That one piece that you just didn't know how it happened, why it happened. Well, there's your answer. Very simple. He raged. He totally raged out knowing she was talking to the ex-boyfriend, which makes perfect sense. I mean, not perfect sense, but perfect sense in an illogical form. But it makes perfect sense to me. And then he flipped the fuck out, didn't know what he was going to do. And here's the other catch. The other thing that you learned in this, which to me didn't make too much sense, was one of the things that they pointed out was that, and her mom said this, either her mom or her dad, I think it was her mom, that she had told her mom that she would make more money as a van lifer by herself and he would go sleep somewhere else. So she was still alive then. She wasn't gone. This girl, and I called this girl out for being a bullshitter from beginning. Now her story changed when she talks to Netflix. Now she's added details. But now she was saying, Brian said this and the Bible fell on his leg. And I was like, oh my God, bitch, shut up. Because that detail I don't ever remember hearing before. But yeah, now the Bible fell on his leg and he was all smelly and scruffy but the van was right near where she died. Allegedly. The reason I say allegedly is because he could have dragged her body. He could have killed her somewhere else. We don't know. But this girl, the one that I never believed, was saying on Netflix that, she was giving him a ride back somewhere. And that may be true, but she was already alive. She was still alive at that point. So this girl's story lost even more credibility with me when I heard it on Netflix. Yes, That was wild, Chrissy. One of the things that they showed at the very end was Gabby's mom had taken a picture of all of them. Now, they all went down. It was both families, plus they bought her best friend and the ex-boyfriend. And I believe the ex-boyfriend was invited because he literally was like the last person to speak to her alive. And I guess he was close with the family, but you can visually see this big orb in the picture. And it wasn't like it didn't even look like a photography orb, like, because that happens, you get a photography orb. It didn't even look like a sun orb. I mean, it looked like an orb. It was wild. Let me see if I can find it. It was pretty cool. Okay. This was literally in the picture. That's not a sun orb, and that's not an orb. Like that, this yellow thing was in her picture. That's wild. And even if it wasn't her, that's still pretty fucking cool. Um, and it to know that, I mean, it almost looks like a cap of something, but it's see-through, so it wasn't a cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say it was certain things, but it wasn't a cap. So, it's just this perfect orb. It is a big orb, I agree, Sly. But whatever it is, if they wanna believe that it's Gabby, then so be it. You know what I mean? But it's just wild. I mean, if I ever had a picture like that, I would freak out. Totally freak out. If I'm in the place that my child was gone or whatever. And even, like, over here oh, you can't see, hold on. Let me, uh let me do this differently so you can see my cursor. Whoop, hang on. Alright. Alright. Like, even right here, like, all the other background is perfectly normal, but then you have this smush background right here. You know what I mean? That's wild. It makes you wonder, was this Brian? You know? Could it be Brian and Gabby? You don't know. You just don't know. I mean, none of us have died and come back, so we don't know what happens after we die. But I do wonder. When I saw that, nobody pointed that out, but I do wonder if Brian came back for her and they were there together. Who knows? But I just find it weird that this is fuzzy and nothing else in the background is fuzzy, like nothing. But right over the ex-boyfriend's shoulder is Brian, in my opinion. If you want to get deep and believe in souls and, the afterlife. I just find it weird that it's right over Brian, it's right over Gabby's ex's shoulder. The same guy that he killed her for. Think about that. You know what I mean? And I haven't heard anybody point that out. But it almost even looks like there's like a point right to him, which is fucked up. Just like a point right at his head. I don't know. I just found that wild. And again, nothing else is fuzzy. Nothing at all. Except this arrow. But you see what I mean? It almost looks like a fucking arrow pointing at this guy's head. I don't know. People are going to think I'm nuts, but I just think it's wild that the only part that's fuzzy aims right at the ex-boyfriend. And Brian allegedly shot himself in the head. And he, in my opinion, killed Gabby because of this man right here. And here is something pointing right at the ex-boyfriend. Just one of those things that make you go, Yep. Found out she spoke to her ex. That's what I'm saying. Not only spoke to her, but planned on that he was going to help her leave him. He was the one that was going to help Brian leave him. I mean, that he was going to help Gabby leave him. They were going to work something out together. He was going to, you could think I'm a nutcase, lost my mind. Think about that though. Why is the only fuzzy thing pointing at the ex-boyfriend that he killed her over? Think about that though. There's two distinct orbs. I'm not going to use orbs. I'll say energy. There are two distinct energies here. Because again, there's nothing else fuzzy in the background. Nothing. There's one little sunlight here. You could see some sunlight here, but not much. There's no other fuzzy except this one piece that's pointing right at the ex-boyfriend and Gabby. Just wild. And maybe I am a nutcase, but that's what I see. I believe in orbs too. I mean, this is a very weird kind of orb, honestly. But could be timing. I don't know. But this is the one that freaked me out the most. This right here. If it was over anybody else, I wouldn't even have noticed it. But the fact that it's pointing directly at the ex-boyfriend is wild. So before you rule me out as a psycho or anything else, just think about that for a second. Like literally think about that. Why is there an orb over the ex-boyfriend? Pointing right at his head, the same way that Brian Laundrie died. A gunshot to the head. Wild. So you can all think I'm fucking crazy, but wild. I don't know. It's just something I noticed. And it was blaring out at me. It wasn't even like it was, I noticed it in passing. No, that shit like jumped off the screen, like, notice me. And that was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, wow, wild. Absolutely wild. So, yeah, whether this was her or not, who knows? But it's kind of cool either way. And again, if her family wants to think that, let her think it. So now, that was the picture. What I did pick up on was the Laundries absolutely not speaking to anybody. I didn't remember the timeline, but did the Moab police get everything wrong? Yes. Did the Moab police do their best? Absolutely. Was Brian this big time abuser? I don't know. What I see is everybody's looking at this hindsight 2020. Yes, it's very easy to say Brian's an abuser when uh when he murdered her. It's very easy to say it. But, one of the things that stuck out to me in her diary readings, and by the way, if you haven't watched it because of that, there was not a lot of it. There were like a couple of lines, not there really wasn't much. It wasn't like, they read tons of the diary. They didn't. But one of the things that stuck out at me too was she had said, I don't deserve him. And the fact that he puts up with me, that puts up so much of me, and, I love him for it. That's not really an abuser statement before the abuse. You know what is that make sense? I don't know. I just feel like if there was major abuse in this relationship, people would have known about it prior. I personally kind of think. Do you think so, Chrissy? I don't know. I just never. Maybe I just don't understand that mentality then, and maybe I'm wrong. Hey, hon. And maybe I'm wrong for it. I just don't. I don't know. Even in my relationship, I always knew that I'm not the one that did anything wrong. He was the asshole. Why I put up with it, I don't know. But he was the asshole. He was wrong. It wasn't me. So maybe I just don't understand that mentality. But here's the other thing I realized. I don't even think that it was just a young girl in love. From hearing the ex-boyfriend speak and the ex-boyfriend saying that, she was supposed to do this with me and we were going to do this together and we were going to, I was jealous because we were supposed to do the van life. I just think she wanted to do van life with someone. And as a girl who grew up in Long Island, you get a chance to move to Florida, you're going to go. Like you think, oh, that's palm trees and it's warm weather all the time. And, she was a skateboarder and she did this and she was an outdoorsy kind of girl. Well, Florida seems fucking awesome. And I don't even have to pay rent. I'm going to move right into this dude's, family house. So I think that played a part of it too. So I don't know if she was actually so much in love. Because when they allegedly got engaged, according to the mom, there was no ring. There was, it was just one of those, hey, you want to get married. So once she got on the road, I think she just realized that this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought that this was going to be better. And, it frustrates me that people say, oh, she was a YouTuber. She had like 500 subs when she was killed. I wouldn't exactly call that a YouTuber. I mean, now she's got like millions, but at the time she was uh unalived. She didn't have anything. So yes, but I don't know how trustworthy her best friend is either. She seems off to me. She really does. The best friend seems totally off to me. Yeah, but that's happened to me. Like Brad has disconnected my car cables so I couldn't leave them. I I never looked at that as abuse. Was it technically? Yeah, it was. But I never looked at it like that. So that's why, taking the ID so she couldn't get into a club, I don't see that as abuse. I see that as an asshole, like total asshole move, but not the kind that you would think she would end up murdered. I don't think any of that took a play in the final outcome.
I wasn't going to tell you this.
Hold on a second.
I decided I would this morning. I woke up at like 8:30.
I know.
Oh, you did?
I'm Life 360, remember?
Man?
I paid for it. I know where you are at all times.
The fuck?
And what speed you going and everything.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Robbie. Yeah, really. I know what time you leave, how long it takes you to get there, and how fast you were going.
Well, see, I stay under the speed limit.
Let the dog out.
Well, I stay like right at the speed
All right, let the dog out.
You don't even look at these. There's like a million of them. You'll see I say this other went 60 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went to the gym. I had 3 workouts today.
All right, let your dog out.
Yeah, I woke up like 8:30. I was like, shit.
Okay.
But I have football first block and I don't have a second block, so I was good.
All right, so go get the mail for me.
Okay.
So I know it's controlling. I'm just saying that it's not something that it's just not something that I think is so over the top that, hey, Janessa, that he's going to unalive her. That's just, I mean, you could be an asshole and not go that far. But again, I don't think any of that matters because I truly think the only reason he did it was out of pure jealousy that he gave up his whole summer to do this with her, and now she's going to leave him. She's not talking to him. She's talking to her ex-boyfriend. He found the text messages. I even went as far as to think, okay, here's the scenario. They split up for the night. They decide that, he wants to go hike in the woods or whatever. She wants to stay in the van. That's the story that her mom said. And when he got back, I truly think that he went through her phone to see, is she cheating? Did my thing come? Oh, your lights came? Yeah, give it to me. That's my TikTok thing.
Yep.
My ear cleaner. I bought a TikTok, something off TikTok shop. A wax ear cleaner. I'll let you guys know how it is. It's got a camera in it and everything. So I think that he may have gone to her and said, let me look at your phone or something along the lines where he would have gone to the phone and he would have seen that she called her ex. And not only did she call her ex, but again, they talked about him helping her leave Brian. Brian wasn't having it. After he did what he did, he did not know what the fuck he was going to do and said, that's it, done. I have no choice. I think, in my personal opinion, and again, it's just my opinion, but I do think that he did not have plans to unalive himself. I mean, at the same time, it's not easy to do that. It is not easy to take a fucking gun to your head and blow your brains out. Because so many things run through your mind. The fact that he wrote this letter and lied about it and concocted this whole story. Why? You were going to unalive yourself. Just fucking admit what you did. You should have called her parents, told them what you did, then put a gun to your head. I just don't know why he did it the way he did it. If you were going to go anyway, then just do the right thing by everybody. Why you gotta kind of double down? That part I'll never understand about him. He should have never just doubled down. And that's basically what he did. He just doubled down and then he took his own life. Why did he do it with his left hand? Maybe he thought he'd miss and he'd survive. I don't know. It's a good chance that he didn't know he was going to do it. I don't know. I truly don't know why he did some of the things he did. What didn't the parents go to Brian's house? What? What do you mean? What didn't the parents? I mean, the whole situation is horrible, but kudos to the FBI agent, the female FBI agent in this series. I freaking love her. She said she starts crying at the end of the Netflix series, and I almost cried with her because she was so fucking heartfelt. She was an FBI agent, so heartfelt. And she started getting tears in her eyes, and she said, as sad as this story is, and although this story is unique, there's thousands of people missing every day in this area that I have to look for. There's thousands that go missing. And you know what? She was so right. And she was saying, I'm not saying that, Gabby's not basically, she didn't say the exact words, but she didn't say like, I'm not saying Gabby's not America's sweetheart, but there's still millions of people that go missing every day. And she was crying when she said it. She's an FBI agent. She's right. But I loved her. She was so heartfelt. And she was so real and so sincere. And the FBI needs more people like her. She was just great. And for anyone that watched the series, you know what I'm talking about. She was just great. My other question is, did Roberta, or should Roberta and her husband be in jail? No. Why? They lost a son too. Yes, they lost a son at his own free will, but they still lost a child. And that you can't take that back. And I think the worst part is they kind of knew that they were losing their child. They knew he was going to do this. That's a hard pill to swallow. And I think that's why, thinking logically and not irrationally, but just thinking logically, I think that's how they knew exactly where he was, because that's where they left him. But they didn't want to go back there just in case he wasn't dead. They didn't want to tell anyone where he was just in case he wasn't dead. So did they do the right thing? Only they have to live with that. Not only do they have to live with the fact that they kind of allowed their son to off himself, plus they played a hand in, not in the murder, but they played a hand in the cover-up, per se. I can assure you, they're not living free lives. That's a guilt I don't think any parent would be able to get over. They got double whammy. At least Gabby's parents know that they couldn't have done anything. Like, there's nothing, they have hindsight 2020, but in reality, there's really not much they could have done. Their daughter was, 20 years old. 22, whatever. They did what they could do as normal parents. But Brian's parents have guilt that none of us would ever want. And I think, they did the court case, the civil case was dropped, not dropped, but they made some kind of settlement. I don't know what the settlement was, or at least I don't remember. That's what I'm saying, Rock Gem. The way they played it out, knowing, and I don't think the sister knew at all. I think the sister was clueless. I think this is just something between maybe the mom and Brian or both parents and Brian. I don't know. See, that's another thing everyone keeps talking about is that Roberta said she was jealous. I don't remember hearing that. I know I've heard it from creators talk about it, but in listening to in listening to the docuseries, I don't remember ever hearing anybody say that. So someone pointed out to me because I don't know where that came from, but I keep hearing it. Yeah, believe me, I know that his parents did some fucked up shit. But at the same time, they knew their son was gone. They were mourning too. And I think that's why they didn't speak to the police, because they were mourning. They knew they lost their son. They knew when they got the car back, they lost their son. They knew what their son was doing, his son was doing. I mean, they knew what their son was doing. But I think that's why they didn't want to speak to the police, because they knew they would give it away. And they knew that if they said something, they'd be kind of screwed. Just my opinion. I don't know if I'm right. But did I learn anything new from the docuseries? Well, kind of. The simple fact that I believe I now have a reason why. Something I don't have for Chris Watts. I still don't have a fucking answer for why Chris did what he did to his poor little girls. But at least this one, I kind of feel like case closed for me. I strongly believe that this was all over jealousy because she spoke to the ex-boyfriend. Johnny, never speak to the police. I hate to say that, but never speak to the police unless you have an attorney there. Ever. Words to the wise. And I know this from a police officer and from a lawyer. You never, ever, ever speak to the cops without an attorney there. Ever. Even if you're completely innocent. There's an old saying, anything you can say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Many people think if they're innocent, you could speak to the police. Normal mentality, but it's wrong. Don't ever speak to the police, ever. Unless you're not involved. You see a car accident and you're a witness to a car accident. That's a different story. But if you think you're possibly a witness, your kid is a witness, your kid is a victim, as a suspect, don't ever speak to police. Ever. Now, the fact that they didn't speak to Gabby's parents is sick. Even if they lied to them, at least give them the courtesy of speaking to them. And again, I don't know why Brian didn't call immediately. Why didn't he just call and confess what he did and then off himself? It's too weird. Hang on, let me let Winston in. It's just too weird. Hey, Amanda, and it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, they couldn't speak to the police originally because they were protecting their son. But then they couldn't speak to police because, again, they were mourning. They were quietly mourning the death of their son, that they knew he offed himself. When he didn't come home, the car was there. He knew it. But I just want to know, did they convince him that that was the better option? That's something we'll never know, because I couldn't let my son walk out of the house knowing I was never going to see him again. I would have tied him to a fucking chair. I would have taken the keys. I would have made sure, I'm sorry, honey, you still have to take responsibility. I'll protect you to the public. I'll protect you to the police, but you still got to take responsibility. No, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. They didn't speak to them because they were protecting their son. But they were right in the sense of call my attorney. They told the police, call our attorney. He'll tell you anything you need to know. And they're right for that. That's what you do. You give him your attorney's number and let your attorney handle it. So they weren't wrong for that. But again, when Brian knew he was going to do it, he should have taken responsibility. But it's one of those, I think Brian realized after he saw social media, after he saw how huge this was, because remember when they left, she was a nobody YouTuber. Nobody knew who she was. Nobody had any idea who she was. If it was not for this case going viral, he would have got away with it. And he would be living his life normal. And he would say she went missing. I don't know what happened to her. She went missing. We separated. Everybody knew we separated. Ask her ex-boyfriend. There wouldn't have been a way to prove it. I mean, granted, he came home with the van, but there wouldn't have been a way to prove it. But I think in his mind, he figured people go missing all the time. But because it blew up to epic proportion and she became America's sweetheart, he knew there was no getting out of it, and he was going to be there was no option. He wasn't going to spend the rest of his life in jail, and he wasn't going to be known as America's sweetheart's murderer. Because remember, she could do no wrong. In the eyes of the public, she could do no wrong. And I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying. Oh, I agree. That's a whole nother situation. But the whole thing is sad. But I really tried to look at it from everybody's perspective. Everyone's different perspective. And is Loretta what's her name? I want to say Loretta Laundry, but that's not right. Who's Dan? What are you talking about, Amanda? I know he killed her. He killed her because jealousy and rage because of her ex-boyfriend. I didn't say he didn't do it. Roberta, thank you. By the way, Roberta Flack died today. I don't know if anyone knows. If you're old enough to know who Roberta Flack is, she passed. Have explained the van back. See, I don't know. I don't think he thought about it, though. He just knew he had to get back to Florida. He did take a coward's way out. However, was it really? I mean, it's hard to take a gun to your head. There's no doubt. It's got to be one of the hardest decisions anybody makes because you don't know if you're really going to go. For all we know, he didn't die immediately. He could have died slowly. Like, we don't know. Everybody assumes that, he put a bullet to his head and, blew his brains out. We don't know that. It could have happened that quick, but it may not have. He could have been alive for a couple of hours. We don't know. But it's definitely a sad situation. I mean, as weird as this sounds, I'm glad that I finally got the closure on the case, that I do feel like there's closure. I do feel like now there's a solid reason that I know why he did it. Jealousy. He found out that he was talking to her, that she was talking to the ex, and that's all it took. Yes, I do think it was because the ex called her. No, she called the ex, but I think he went through her phone. I think that he went through all of the text messages between the ex and her, found out that the ex was going to help her leave him, and he went berserk. He probably didn't have a lot of sleep because he was camping somewhere else. Yeah, he went through the phone, and that was it. He lost his shit. That's what I think. And up until the episode, I don't think we knew that she was talking to her ex in that capacity. I mean, it's been a couple of years since the case, but I mean, I covered it from A to Z, so I don't remember that part. I really don't until episode 2. When he said that, I was like, "Oh, now that makes perfect fucking sense." We didn't know that. Okay. I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy because I'm like, I don't remember, but I'm not 100% sure. It would make anyone go nuts. Add in the fact that he may not have slept. Just so many factors. Maybe he was drinking. I mean, there's plenty of reasons. And she's the one that had the money. It was technically her van. He had nothing without her. And here he thought she was going to leave him and go back to her ex-boyfriend, and he wasn't having it. And it was a crime of passion. Do I think he loved her in his own way? Yeah, I do. Do I think that he wanted this to end up like this? No. Do I think he offed himself because part of him felt guilty? Yeah, I kind of do. I don't think he was, and I could be wrong. I don't think he was this horrible major abuser who beat the shit out of her all the time and, did this. I just don't think so. Again, I could be wrong, but I just don't think so. I think this was a crime of passion that happened in the heat of the moment, and he didn't know what to do. Exactly. They were isolated. And remember, they weren't together the night before she called the boyfriend. She had called the boyfriend because they were not together. He wanted to be in the woods and she was in the van. Because again, she told her mom that she would make more money being a van lifer by herself because he didn't want to be on camera. So, yeah, but I don't think, I don't know. I think he was harboring resentment, but I really think the whole thing came down to jealousy in the heat of the moment. I don't think it was planned either. I don't think that Brian set out, I'm going to unalive her on this trip. No, not at all. I don't see that at all from her. I mean, from him. But before I forget, let me do this real fast. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm still fucking loud. I thought you guys said I was lower. I'm not lower. I'm still fucking way loud. Boop. All right. 5 memberships. Janessa. The Problem. Evil Queen. Jeff in the house. Ellie's a member. Woohoo! I knew Ellie was watching. I thought you guys said I wasn't loud. I'm so super loud. Oh, way loud. Way loud. Now I gotta lower it again. I am loud. I sound like I'm yelling. All right. We're gonna talk lower. I don't want to listen to my own live and give myself a fucking headache, and that's what's happening. So we're talking lower. But welcome, new members. So yeah, so that's my feeling on the Gabby Petito situation. Another thing I started watching today was the Ashante case. That's pretty wild. You've had pneumonia? Oh no. Yeah, nobody buys members anymore. It's just me, Bad Wolf, Rock Jam, Sly Angel, Amber, and Sweet Misery. Those are like the only people that buy chat memberships anymore in here. So we need more people to buy memberships. Next month, I'm going to be pushing it like all these other damn creators. Yes, the Bella Gibson is good too. And you, I'm sorry, Aussie. Who? I get confused with Lindsay Clancy. There's two of them, I think, isn't there? One of them is the one that offed her children, and the other one, I forgot. I totally forgot. Ah, thank you, Rock Jim. Let It Be, Cashmere, Pug Love, Nth Life, and Tam. Woo! You're welcome, Melly. I knew you would sneak in here. There was another case I was following. I forgot what it was. Oh my God, Mona MK. Girl likes me and hates me all in the same week. You really said Gabby seemed to have low self-esteem. I agree with that. Because I don't think she was so in love with Brian as she was in love with the idea of doing it. Like she wanted to be a YouTuber, a TikToker. She wanted to do van life. I get it. I totally get it. I really do. I understand it. And Brian wasn't the type to be on camera. And she kept pushing it. If she hadn't have been unalived, would she have millions of followers? Probably not. Yeah, with someone who wanted to do it, though. He didn't want to do it. But remember, they were miserable, and she was going to come back home with the ex-boyfriend and be with her ex-boyfriend. But I just think she got caught up in the hoopla of Florida, of moving to Florida with nice palm trees. Because as someone who grew up on Long Island, you do. Like, you're like, oh my God, you're going to Florida. It's so pretty there. It's palm trees and this and that. And she was like, oh, get me out of Long Island. It's cold. It happens. So that's why I'm kind of curious. I'm wondering if she really even liked him at all, or she just fell into the whole let's, let's do this kind of thing. It's sad though. Todd Mullis, is that the one who killed his twin sister or something? Or is that a different case? Hit the thumbs up. Because there was another trial I saw that the guy murdered his twin sister or something. I was like, oh, hell no. The world has gone berserk. Yeah, he was found guilty. That's what I thought. Because I knew I saw the name, but I wasn't 100% positive. There was another case that I heard about today that was fucked up. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I pop on Long Crime all the time. Ew. No way. Police said Inu had threatened to stab her husband during an argument hours before the children were killed. The husband told police he didn't believe the children were in danger and went out to sleep in his car. Police were called to the home at the time, but left with the children still alive. The children were found with multiple chops and cuts to their bodies, which were covered in trash boxes and a mattress in Tempe, Arizona. That's crazy. She was found guilty of killing 2 young children with a meat cleaver. The fuck? That's nuts. Oh. Pennsylvania police have asked the public's help in locating a woman who recently vanished and was possibly abducted. State police said that Kaylee Fair, 22, may have been taken against her will after someone known to her dropped her off in McKeesport. WTA reported alarms were raised after Fair's friends and family were contacted by a spoof's number regarding her whereabouts. I don't have a picture of her, though. Crazy. I know, right, Rose? Iqmal, I saw there was some kind of shooting in Alabama on a university. Does anyone watch Iqmal? I only saw the highlight. I didn't see the whole story. Whoop. Yeah. No, this is in Pennsylvania. Gunman who held Pennsylvania hospital staff hostage felt more could have been done. What the fuck? All right, check this out. Look at this. All I did was turn on Google. Well, look at this. This fucking insane. You're gonna be like, what? Gunman held Pennsylvania hospital staff hostage. Okay, 3 hours ago. 6 hurt, 2 dead, including police officer in Pennsylvania hospital shooting. Okay, this is all together. Then you come down here. Ohio College orders students to shelter in place due to possible shooting on campus. Then you have Morgan County Sheriff's Office responding reported shooting. Deadly shooting continues regular string of gun violence incidents at Western Hills. So that's somewhere else. Dude, that's crazy. This is all in the last few hours. Active shooter on campus at Ohio University 3 hours ago. Sheriff's Office, no shooting at Muskegon. Oh, that was the one in Alabama. Shelter in place lifted. So someone must have put like a note, or someone must have called and said they were shooting up all these schools. Because 3 hours ago, this one was lifted, but this one started. That's wild. But then they find out there was no shooting. Then you have 3 hours ago, 1 dead, 2 injured in Selma shooting. Is this Davenport, Iowa or Davenport, Florida? Yeah, it's Davenport, Florida. Damn, the world has gone nuts. Police released more details on road rage shooting 5 hours ago. Oh. Panama City road rage shooting. 1 killed, another injured at shooting at a food court, Western Hills Mall in Fairfield. Damn. Montgomery. Dude, the world has lost its fucking mind. For real. A man is dead, another injured in South Baltimore shooting. Teens admit to double shoot. And this is all like in the last few hours. That's what's blowing me away. It's not like this is, forever. It's like in a few hours. The hospital. Man dies from shooting. It's crazy. Five more charged after ghost gun. Ooh, ghost gun used in shooting at West Philly 12 hours ago. So it would have been yesterday. Wow. This is crazy. All you see is shooting, shooting, shooting. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. So before I get off, let me show you guys the awesome website. Hold on. All right. Christy, if you're still here, here you go. My internet sucks tonight. Gotta have my breast cancer somewhere. Add a Dayton on this one, since he does all the lifting. That's the video that you guys see all the time. Come on, internet. Ooh, I gotta add stuff. Oh yeah, it's there. I'm like, wait, where's the back stuff? It's my internet. Then we got classic wax melts. Come on, you shitty fucking internet. It'd be better if my internet didn't suck balls. And that's it. That's a new website. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Brian, I sat in front of my computer fucking 250 hours or something. It is professional. It would be better if my fucking internet was better. But yeah, I think it came out great. I'm very happy with it. I have no complaints. But I will say there are a couple of items that I don't have yet, that like the tubes for the body lotion and stuff. So subscribers, you're going to get that next month because I don't even have it in yet. So same thing. I just ordered new spray bottles. I have other spray bottles, but I just ordered really nice ones. So I ordered a whole bunch of stuff and I got more stuff coming. But I'm happy. New logo. So once I figure out what the special's gonna be, there's gonna be another. I'm gonna do a like kickoff special tomorrow, and that's it. So guys, order your candles tomorrow, and I gotta get other candles out. So if you have an order, and I know a bunch of you guys do, those are going out tomorrow. So yeah, some are going out tomorrow, some are going out Wednesday. So that's the website. I love it. I think it was worth all my hard work. I'm very happy with it. But on that note, I am going to get off and go eat something because I'm kind of hungry and it's almost 10 o'clock at night. But I think the cold weather's behind us. Today was like 60. It was fucking beautiful. And I think it's only going to get nicer from here. So I also got to get the house ready. Phoenix comes home next week. We got laundry like piled up in his room and shit. So, all right. But I'll see you beautiful people tomorrow. Thank you, problem. Again, go to energycandles.com. If you want to wait till a special, that's fine. They'll specially be here tomorrow. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do. And that's it. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night. Thank you guys. Thank you for the memberships. Welcome new members. And I will see you guys later. Peace. And don't forget, hit that thumbs up on your way out.